What is going on, Amazon sellers, flippers, and arbitragers? My name's Chris Grant, and welcome to the daily live Q&A live from sunny Central Florida. Glad to have you guys here on a Thursday afternoon. As always, and for anybody who may be tuning in for the first time, this is a time where I'm here to help you answer any questions, address any concerns, or try to help you fix any problems that you may have in your Amazon business or reselling business, whether it's wholesale, online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, Walmart, eBay, Amazon, you name it. I've dabbled in a little bit of all of it and happy to help any way I can. So it is time for you guys to drop your questions in the chat and we will get those answered for you. Luke, what is going on? My man, you are like clockwork. You show up every single time. I appreciate you. I'm gonna start calling you the postman. Money from Mars, what's going on? Big B, what's up? Love being picky. How's it going? And Luke, want to buy my snips and vacuum cleaners? I don't know. We'll talk about it. All right. 2 a day. Yeah, absolutely. So some of you know that I also do a weekly live for our small group on Thursdays. So that was earlier today. And Oxjam, what's going on? Jacqueline, good to see you. Sometimes I will also bring you guys some information that may be able to help you in your Amazon business. I'm not sure if we'll get to that tonight. I've got to go right at 6 p.m. At 6 p.m., I'm hosting 40 or maybe 50 sellers, depending on how many show up here at my home. And having a little bit of a Christmas party, and we're going to talk shop and things like that. So I've got to go right on the dot at 6 p.m. So, and Big B, yes, it is time to absolutely crush the rest of Q4. So again, for those of you who have not been here before, if you have a question, bring it on, drop it in the chat, and we will get it out to you. And DJ, Crazy Jimmy, good to see you. We have got another podcast coming out here very soon about how to repair credit. We've also got another podcast in the wings about someone who does wholesale and private label. And it's going to be, they're both really good in my opinion. And Luke, that's how we do it, man. There is never too much that we can take on here in the Grant household. You're more than invited at 6. Happy to have you over. If you're in the greater Orlando area and you want to make it, you're more than welcome to message me, and you're more than welcome to come over. We did charge a couple bucks a head because I'm providing beer and wine, and we made food all day. Well, not me, my wife. If I made it, it would be inedible. So my wife did it. And it'll actually be something that is pretty good. So, all right, as we get started, I've got some news. All right. And what could be good news, but in my opinion, I think we need to be a little cautious. We need to hold off a little bit. But you may have heard of the BOI from FinCEN. And I always forget exactly what that stands for, beneficial ownership information or something like that. But a federal court out of Texas has enjoined the law or the rule that says that we have to go and fill out our beneficial ownership information with FinCEN, which was just a pretty much a document that lets the government know who owns the LLC that you own. So if you have an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp, anything like that, you are supposed to fill this out. If you don't fill it out and submit it, it's somewhere between a $250 and a $500 fine every single day. It is not something that, is to be taken lightly. But as of today, that is put on hold. Now, what does that mean? Okay, the way that I've been reading it is, as of right now, if you haven't filled it out, you don't have to worry about it. The problem is that the FinCEN and whoever is overseeing that, I can't remember which 3-letter agency it is, whether it's the FTC or the SEC. Sounds like the FTC would run that. Whichever 3-letter agency is running that, I'm sure that they're going to push back on this. and they're probably going to try to appeal, which I would imagine, and I'm no lawyer, I don't play one on TV. I would imagine that that means that we're going to end up having to file anyway. But is it going to vacate any fines if people wait until after the first? I have no idea. So, personally, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this. We currently have until December 31st. We have until December 31st to be able to file these at like midnight. Okay. So I'm going to be waiting until the very last minute to get final word. And when I do, I will make sure that I tell everybody via social media, via my email newsletter, et cetera, and so on. And Big B, I wish you would have known as well. I would love to meet you. I'm gonna do a little plug here for a moment, everybody. I have an email newsletter. It goes out every single Friday at 7:40 p.m. It has had several pieces of news that people have missed because they haven't read it. Number one, last night Keepa went down, and I got several messages. Hey, Keepa's down. What's going on? Do you know what's happening? And yes, Keepa had a scheduled update last night at 10:30 Eastern. It was supposed to last 2 hours. It lasted something like 45 minutes, but I posted that news in my email newsletter. And for the past 3 weeks, I have posted an invitation to my home via my email newsletter. So if you are not on my email list, head over to cleartheshelf.com. That is cleartheshelf.com. It should be in the video description somewhere. And sign up to my email newsletter. Occasionally, I will try to sell you something, and I will try to grab a little cash out of your pocket, but only for things I believe in or courses that I teach myself. Okay? You can ignore those. Read that weekly newsletter. It's got tons of news in it every single week. Hey, Seth, what's going on, man? All right. We have got some questions here. Bear with me just a moment. Luke, I do enjoy cooking occasionally. Usually, maybe smoking a brisket or maybe throwing some steaks on the grill. But other than that, I'm not too much. I'm not too good. All right. Love being picky. What's going on? When the customer so the item is when the customer says the item is inauthentic because they want a refund, Amazon makes your listing inactive. Uh, Even if you sell another of the item and two complain, it's annoying. Yes, that is true. However, it can go inactive if you get an inauthentic complaint. It can also go inactive if Amazon says, hey, we think this may be inauthentic, even if you just get a customer review. It could actually be a product review, and it can kind of light the fire about people getting inauthentic complaints. In my opinion, they are very easy to beat. I just beat one. I can't remember if it was late last week or earlier this week. Time kind of just mashes together these days, but very, very simple to beat. You need to have your receipts, have your order confirmation, have your shipping confirmation, have your order delivery confirmation. Put that into a nice document, mark things up, show what ASIN it is, et cetera, and so on. I always put a cover sheet on it, and I let them know exactly what they're going to be looking at. I put the title and the ASIN right up at the top on the cover sheet, and then underneath of it, I'll say you're going to get receipts for this item from X retailer. You're going to get order confirmations from this item for X retailer, and I just put it all into one package, okay, one PDF, and then I compress it so that it fits when I upload it, and you will crush them. What is arbitrage blogging, and how can one make money through arbitrage blogging? I've never heard of arbitrage blogging, so I'm sorry about that. All right. So, Osong, among online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, and wholesale, which one is easier for someone to start before scaling up easily? So, here is here's something that I think is the I'm going to push back just a little bit because I appreciate the question, but I think it's the wrong question. Okay. Um, we don't ever want to go looking for the easiest thing. All right. Uh, None of these are easy. They're simple. They're not easy. And I think there's a big difference. All right. The simplest, in my opinion, would be retail arbitrage. You grab your phone, you grab the Amazon seller app, you go stand in an aisle at a store and you scan every single item in that aisle. And then you go to the next and the next until you find items that are profitable, number one, and two, you can sell. And that's all you've got to do. And then you send them off to Amazon or you ship or you merchant fulfill them yourself, whichever one you want to do. Okay. That is probably the simplest. All right. And again, note, I'm not saying easy, simplest. Online arbitrage is probably the second. I can sit behind the comfort and convenience and safety of my desk, grab my keyboard, and type away, finding deals. Walmart, Target, all the sites, thousands and thousands of them across the internet. Stack on discount gift cards, stack on coupon codes, stack on cash back that don't count the cash back towards your ROI. Okay. Anything else that you can get to legally and ethically lower your buy cost, have it shipped to you, and then either send it to FBA or shoot it off via FBM or merchant fulfilled. All right. Those ones are pretty simple. Okay. Wholesale is going to be a little bit harder. You've got to reach out to suppliers. You've got to get them to allow you to open accounts. You don't want to go to the suppliers that will give you an account if you have a pulse, because those ones are going to suck. And then you're going to say, oh, well, that supplier is garbage and wholesale is a scam, et cetera, and so on. Okay. But again, none of these are easy. You're going to have hurdles. There's going to be gatings. There's going to be inauthentic. There's going to be things you don't understand. So they are simple: buy low, sell high. That's all this game is. That's all any retail is. But it's not necessarily an easy business. How many people are we expecting tonight? Somewhere between 40 and 50 is my guess. Hey, Eric, when you do RA, do you go and scan every product or do you look it up beforehand with Keepa Product Finder? So here's the thing about retail arbitrage: you can't always know what's going to be in the store. Thank you, Aladdin. I am a filthy course seller. Um, you can't always know what's going to be in the store. It's not always online. And so what I will do is, well, not really anymore. I don't really do much retail arbitrage, although I've got some merchant fulfilled products sitting off to my left here that I did retail arbitrage on. Is you go in the store, you scan. I will look it up on Keepa because I want to see what the historical data looks like. Keepa is often included in many of the softwares that are out there, like Scoutify, like SellerAmp, like shoot, I'm gonna totally wreck the name of the last one. Scan Power. So Scan Power, Scoutify, SellerAmp, all of them start with an S. A lot of those have Keepa built in, so you'll look at it there. But you just want to scan every single item, and that's it. What's up, Derek? How's it going, man? Let's see here. Seth, a way to often avoid the deactivating the listing while still having inventory is waiting until more than one item is stock. Well, they're talking about getting an inauthentic complaint. They got their items deactivated when there was an inauthentic. You know what? We've got something here that I am happy to chat about. I appreciate you bringing this up, Aladdin. Are you not ashamed of selling courses on OA and RA that clearly are not Section 3 proof? Fake guru. Thank you. This is a good question. There is no such thing as a business on Amazon that is immune to getting a Section 3. Amazon is looking to make sure that everyone's supply chain is clean. And uh, it sucks. It does. It does suck to have to go through this. I recently went through a Section 3 myself and beat the Section 3 with online arbitrage receipts. So I wouldn't say that I'm not Section 3 proof. I've done it and I've helped a bunch of other people do it. So I'm going to push back a little bit there. But the other thing is that you can get a Section 3 with wholesale. I've got friends who do wholesale who've gotten Section 3s. Now they've been able to beat them as well. Okay. And I got lucky to beat it. I disagree again. And I would love to have you on to debate sometime if you wanted to do that. Okay. But here's the thing. I did not get lucky because the method that I have used has been used by dozens of other people that have emailed me, and they have been able to beat it. Anyone who says that online arbitrage and retail arbitrage are against Amazon terms of service are plainly incorrect. Now, what about the people that didn't beat it? There is another good question. I can't say because I don't know every single specific issue or every single specific criteria that happened to come up in their Section 3. I don't know what questions they were asked during their video verification call. I don't know what they may have failed. I don't know where they sourced from. I don't know how they put their documents together. And that is, I can't help that unless someone comes to me and says, hey, would you look over my Section 3 stuff? It sort of sounds like you may have gotten a Section 3 and have not been able to beat it. Okay. I'll tell you what, if that's the case, feel free to reach out to me. I'm a little busy tonight. I've got some people coming over, but I will be happy to take a look at your documents. No charge. I won't charge you for my time. And I will try to guide you any way that I can. Now, I will say this. If your sources are garbage, then I can't help you. All right. The people who I have seen not been able to beat their Section 3s, and I do have one friend who has not been able to beat it, the sources and the receipts, they're just really not good. Tried a bunch of things and it happens, even though this is a nationally recognized brand. All right. But online arbitrage, retail arbitrage is safe. You can call me every name in the book. I will be happy to defend my position for quite some time. All right. I saw you on Nepeto's Facebook. Are you an admin there? I am not. I'm not an admin. I am not associated with Nepeto. I just happen to like to learn about all the softwares, tools, and things like that that are in the Amazon space. Peter, is there an easy way inside Seller Central to go back after 30 or 60 days to see what my specific ASINs sold for to evaluate test ASINs are selling at a good price point? I'm sure that there is a report in Seller Central. If you're not using another software to track your sales, there is definitely a report. I don't know off the top of my head what that report would be. But Peter, if you want to shoot me a message, I will look at the reports section in Seller Central, and I'll tell you which one I would go look at. But they've got to have that information. Absolutely. And Tony, Big T is here. What's going on, man? Most of the packets I look at of people having a Section 3 are really unclear and disorganized. This is very possible. One of the things about handling a Section 3 is you do have to kind of draw this straight line for somebody whose first language may not be English and maybe having to go through a couple hundred of these a day. And so, yeah, I would imagine that having things disorganized and unclear may be a problem. Andy just got through their Section 3, followed Chris's advice. I appreciate that. Lex, top-notch coach. I appreciate all you give me. Hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. What is the likelihood of getting a Section 3 multiple times? That's a great question. I think that I've seen one or two people maybe get a Section 3 more than once. Um, and uh, and so uh, it's possible. I just don't know how if it's going to happen or not. FBA Aladdin, I didn't say that you could not speak perfect English. What I said is that the people you are presenting your Section 3 information to, those Amazon employees, may not have English as their first language. So not you. Okay. So don't take it as I'm trying to slam you. Listen, I'm on your side, brother. I want things to be well for you. And let's go back to your other question here. You're pushing back hard, and I appreciate this because a lot of times people won't do this. Am I saying that people who did not beat their Section 3 deserved it? No, absolutely not. Okay. Now, have some of them bought from dodgy retailers? It's very possible. I have seen that. Okay. I have helped people where they have bought from retailers, from even wholesalers that I would consider to be dodgy. All right. It happens. Okay. Now, is that the case every single time? No, it's not. But I think that most other Section 3s are beatable if you are willing to fight it as long as it takes, as hard as it takes, and you show Amazon proof. Amazon's giving us evidence, okay? And you should go back and listen to my podcast on Section 3. I lay this all out over the course of 2 hours, okay? And after this one, I'm going to have to move on because I've only got 8 minutes left. But if we lay out exactly what Amazon's looking for, and Amazon is looking for the retailer or invoices to have a backup that they're from legitimate businesses, okay? If you go and pull Trustpilot information and social media information, and you pull the LLC or the corporate documents from the company that you're buying from, and they can see that they're registered with the state, or in your case, I can't remember the organization in the UK that you have to register your business with, but you could lay all of this out for them to say, hey, I'm buying from a company that's been around for a long time, that's been a retailer for a long time, etc. Okay. Are some Section 3s harder than others? Yes, absolutely. Is it fair? No, I'm not saying it's fair. We are paying for other people's mistakes and other people's sins. And I've laid out exactly why I think it's happening. But it's part of the game. It's what's happening. If you want to be in the arena, it's what you're having to deal with. So we suck it up and we do what's necessary. All right. Random question, Big B, but what was your why for starting to sell on Amazon? That's a great question. I have been self-employed since I was 18 years old. I was selling insurance from the time I was 18 for about 12 years. And I had always wanted to figure out how to make some money on the internet. And the reason is that the insurance business is slow to catch up to the time. So I wasn't allowed to be on YouTube. I wasn't allowed to blog. It all had to go through legal. And I was like, man, these old guys are just never going to figure this thing out. And so I wanted to figure out some other things. And that took me through affiliate marketing, which I still do. Took me through selling on Amazon. I've done private label, done some wholesale, done retail arbitrage, online arbitrage. We've done white label. We've done all these different things. But I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to become terminally unemployable, which I did. And we had a kid on the way. And that was really well, he wasn't on the way. He had actually been born. But when I decided to go full time, I was tired of not being around. I was out knocking on doors. I was selling insurance at 6, 7 o'clock at night, at people's kitchen tables, in people's businesses, that kind of thing. And I just wanted to be around. So other than when I'm live, my office door stays wide open so that my kids can walk in to this day, no matter what I'm doing, and be able to ask me a question, get help with a problem, talk. Like we have an open door policy. If it weren't for lives, I'd just take the door off the hinges, and just to show them that, hey, dad may be working, but dad is always here. And that was my big why. Beautiful time of year. Yeah. Oh, Corey. Corey is rubbing salt in the wound, man. Um, let's see here. Corey never reached out about the leads. Michael Feudo, what is going on, man? It's been a long time. Corey, I appreciate that. I appreciate you giving me a little or a little pat on the back after Saturday. It was not great. Let's see here. Sorry if there's anything else here. Jorge. All right. We're gonna call this one the last one for today. Actually, I'll give out two of them here, and then we're gonna wrap it up because I hear Christmas music and people out there. So, Jorge, Chris, at what point does it get costly to keep inventory in Amazon fulfillment centers after 30, 60, 90, or longer? Um, I always forget. I think it's at 180 days when they start charging aged inventory surcharges. In my opinion, the first 180 days of storage at Amazon is really pretty inexpensive. I think I was looking at a pair of shoes earlier today on my coaching call. Let me pull up Amazon and I'll double check um, what these shoes were running for a monthly storage fee. So these shoes that are around 56 bucks, the dimensional weight is 3.61 pounds. So they're 12 by 8 by 4 inches. The monthly storage fee was 70 cents during peak, 23 cents during non-peak. So let's just say that you have those in during non-peak and they're 23 cents and you have them in there for 6 months. That's a buck 38 to store a pair of Adidas Samba shoes. All right. Everyone should know what a pair of, I'm sorry, these were Adidas court shoes. So kind of like a tennis, an actual tennis shoe. Now, during Q4, they're about 70 cents per month. So let's say you keep them during Q4, you're going to be looking at $2.10 just for the Q4 period. And so, in my opinion, that's pretty cheap rent for items to be at Amazon. I've seen some things that are 3 cents a month, but then at the 180 day mark, you're going to be looking at aged inventory surcharges. It's really not that expensive, but when you also take into account, opportunity cost and things like that, it really does get expensive. So, in my opinion, I like to get things liquidating at 90 days. But if someone were going to keep something for 5 or 6 months, then I would start getting really aggressive. Gail, give out a lot. I appreciate that. All right. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. I will be back tomorrow. That's Friday, December 6th. I am going to go play host and shake some hands, kiss some babies. I'll be back tomorrow, Friday at 5:30 p.m., and we'll do this thing all over again. I hope you guys are absolutely crushing Q4, and we'll talk to you soon.